Apologies for tune in. The Black Cat Party has presented Late at Night, the Real World Talk Show, where we talk about friendship, love, and purpose. Coming soon will be your host, JRX Day 6. This is a late night edition as we are doing it more later in the night, where it is now the next day, technically. We will be coming in soon. Just hang on, he'll be here soon. So, just go on here. Let's see, we got the setup already. The usual keyboard and mouse. We got the binder. We got the mic here. So, and the jugger one. This is making some noise. Let's see if I can go ahead and turn this down. Juju, you need to stop being like that. Look at you spitting. Well, it seems that is taking longer than expected, but it does sound like he'll be here soon. He is here. Tune in to JRX Day 6. There, I did the intro.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What it do? What it do? Jaden, see my necklace? There's my necklace. What it do? What it do? What it do? What it do? On today's episode of the Real Talk Show, we're gonna talk about momentum. The last time I was talking to you by myself, we was talking about flow, going with the flow. And we talked about how, so when I'm thinking about flow, I'm thinking about force. We're trying to get there, talking about momentum. When I think about force, I think about flow. I think about resistance. When I think about flow, when I think about force, and I think about resistance, I think about momentum. So we talked about flow, and when we talked about flow, we pulled up this model where it talked about skill level and challenge. The higher the challenge, the higher the skill level, the easier it is to reach a state of flow. The lower the skill level, the lower the challenge, the more likely one is to reach the state of apathy. Um, Disappearing that. So apathy, for those that don't know what it means, I like to be precise, so we'll look it up. But apathy basically means like not really caring so much. Um, so the specific definition is feeling indifferent or lacking emotion, often a sign of depression or misuse of alcohol and drugs. Apathy can be normal and is only an indicator of underlying disease when feelings become excessive, all-consuming, and interfere with daily living. So when skill level is high and the challenge is high, you got flow. When the skill level is low and the challenge is low, you got apathy. Apathy is one of the symptoms of depression, what they call depression. Uh, yeah, apathy is one of them. Apathy and depression are correlated. And I brought up flow and I brought up force. And the reason I brought up force and I'm contrasting it with flow is that when you have a high skill level, it sets you up for flow. When you have a low skill level, it sets you up for force. And so when you have low skill level and low challenge, you have apathy. When you have low skill level and medium challenge, you have worry. When you have a high challenge level and a low skill level, you have anxiety. And anxiety, worry, and apathy are symptoms of the use of force. So when you're trying to force something, you can create a distracted, depressed state, which we can call apathy, a stress and distracted state, which we can call worry, or a stress and alert state, which we can call anxiety. So that's force. So that's like the use of force. You use flow, you got a relaxed state, confident, relaxed when you have high skill level, low challenge. Medium challenge, you got control, enjoyment, confident. And high skill level, high challenge, you got flow, focused, state of enjoyment. So we're talking about flow, we're talking about force, and then we talk about resistance. So when we talk about resistance, we're talking about in the process, it's a process. And in the process of completing a task, or in the process of completing a task or doing something, one is either in flow, like surfing, riding a wave. One's either in flow or one is in a state of force. And when one is in flow, one is minimizing resistance. One is avoiding resistance. One is navigating around resistance. When one has to use force, one is experiencing resistance, and then the higher level of resistance that one experiences, the likelihood it's associated with the higher level of challenge one's experiencing, which will cause anxiety, worry, or apathy, depending on the challenge level or the resistance level. So when I think about challenge, I'm thinking about resistance. So what's the point in all this? So the point is, when in the process of life and in the process of completing tasks, one is either executing while in flow state, or one is executing via the use of force state. And one's ability to navigate through resistance consistently allows for one to be able to build momentum. And let's be precise about what the word momentum means. Momentum. So momentum, the quantity of motion of a moving body measured as a product of its mass and velocity. The impetus gained by moving an object. Okay. Yes, baby. So I'm trying to get a more basic definition of momentum. Go, go, go. What is it about the dark? Momentum. Formula for momentum. Mass time velocity. So let me try to put that into, that's probably the best thing to do is to probably put that formula into different terms. Momentum. So when I think about momentum, I'm thinking about the velocity at which one is moving in a particular direction, based on the consistent execution of task associated with reaching the destination aimed for. So if I've been working towards creating a business, and okay, so look, the Real Talk Show started as the taboo-free talk show, And I've been working on the Taboo Free Talk Show for close to 110 days, 112 days. So we've built momentum by coming on every day in, day out, day after day, with the intention of creating a show. We've been able to build some momentum, which allows us to experience less resistance and use less force and be able to be in flow. Boom. So momentum allows one to be in flow. When I think about momentum, I think about velocity. We got mass times velocity. And by mass, we could associate mass with a collection of repeated tasks. So the more you do something, the greater its mass. And then the more consistent one is at doing something, the greater the velocity. That would be the idea. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't fit into it exactly that way. But what I mean is, you're doing something over and over and over. It allows you to complete that task easier. Essentially, you get better at it. So you increase in skill. Challenge decreases. You enter a flow state. You know, you can be relaxed. So let's say you have no skill level, you can, or medium skill level, you're going from boredom to relaxed to confident to focused, and that's going up based on the challenge. And momentum allows you to move from a depressed state of apathy, worry, or anxiety, and move towards flow state characterized by relaxation, confidence/control, and flow. And momentum, the degree that you build momentum, to the degree that you train, to the degree that you practice, improve your skill level over time, allows you to more effectively overcome challenges, which allows you to experience flow. And that's how all these words are connected. So you got flow, you got force, you got resistance, you got momentum. And we're talking about momentum today. Momentum is important when starting something. Okay. Let me see where we at. Yeah, momentum is important when you're starting something. And so what are the things you can start? And I'm over here on the save time chart. You know, if you have time, save time, you got the time to practice or create something. What are you going to create? What are you going to build momentum towards? So the way to build momentum is by increasing the mass, increasing the collection of actions in that particular area. So if you want to become an artist and you want to build momentum, you have to make art. You want to become a dancer and you want to build momentum, you have to practice dancing. If you want to be a gamer and you want to build momentum, you got to game. If you want to be an actor and you want to build momentum, you have to act. If you want to be trending, and as that relates to fashion, then you have to practice, or you have to be observant. You have to become current with what is trending, what's in season, what's in the moment, in order to build momentum. If you are a voice artist, if you're a singer, an MC, and you want to build momentum, then you have to use your voice. You got to practice using your voice. If you're in athletics, then you got to train. You got to practice the movements of your specific sport. If you're in MMA, you got to practice the different disciplines that make up your toolbox of mixed martial arts. If you're a streamer, you got to practice streaming. If you're into social media, then you got to use social media. If you're into electronics, you're into technology, you have to immerse yourself in these areas. Oh, I hear him. You hear him? I hear him. You hear him? I hear him. Hear him. I hear him. Hear him. It's my little boy, IU. I know IU's a dope name. You know, if you're into non-traditional names, then you'd love IU. IU's dope. IU. Isn't that beautiful? AEIOU. IU voice. IU's voice. I just heard IU's voice. Did you hear IU's voice? I heard IU's voice. So we're talking about momentum. So the idea is that you're bored, and from being bored, which is a state between force and flow, between apathy and relaxation, you got boredom. And from boredom, you want to move towards flow. So you have to increase your skill level through practice, through becoming productive, through creation, through creating, through being creative. And that gives you a level of confidence that allows you to realize a state of flow. And when in flow, you are in a position to experience momentum. And often momentum gets you to flow, but flow can also get you momentum. When you're experiencing resistance and you're in flow, it allows you to move through the challenges with much ease. Now, this ease will make itself apparent, will become manifest when momentum is interrupted due to an inability to flow towards Pina, the Pinta, and this individual begins to move this team towards this goal or vision. It's going to result in a different state. Their state